It was summer. The sun seemed to have descended into the sky carrying fire. The earth was dry and cracked. Even the leaves on the trees looked weary, scorched by the relentless heat. At that moment, an ant set out in search of food for her colony. The ant was extremely hardworking, a tiny body with a big responsibility. Day after day, she tirelessly searched for food. But today felt especially difficult. The ground beneath her feet was burning hot. The air was still, not a breeze in sight. Her throat dried up from thirst. At last she reached the edge of a river. Seeing the water gave her hope. She slowly moved closer to the bank to drink, but suddenly she slipped and fell into the river. Though the current was gentle, for such a tiny creature it was a threat of death. She flailed desperately, but couldn't reach the shore. Her eyes were filled with fear and a plea for life. Just then, a dove sitting on a tree branch noticed everything. The dove's heart trembled. She thought, if I don't act now, this tiny creature will surely drown. Without wasting a second, the dove plucked a large leaf from the tree and dropped it into the river with her beak. The leaf gently floated down toward the ant. The ant managed to climb onto it. Slowly, pushing herself along, she reached the riverbank and survived. Catching her breath, the ant looked up at the dove and said, "You saved my life. I'm grateful. Remember this. One day, if I get the chance, I'll return the favor." The dove smiled and replied, "You're so small. How could you possibly help me someday?" The ant replied calmly, "My size may be small, but my heart isn't." Though touched, the dove didn't take the ant's words too seriously. What could an ant possibly do to help a bird, she thought. A few days passed. In the same forest, a hunter arrived with a rifle. He was scanning the area for easy prey. Suddenly, his eyes landed on the same dove, sitting peacefully on a branch. The hunter knelt silently and aimed his rifle at the dove. The dove, unaware, sat still, danger approaching fast. But just then, the ant happened to be nearby. She saw what was happening and realized the dove was in grave danger. Without wasting a moment, she ran and climbed up the hunter's leg and bit him hard. The hunter screamed in pain, startled. The rifle slipped from his hands and fell to the ground. Startled by the noise, the dove flew away to another branch, safe and alive. The hunter, now frustrated, gave up and slowly walked away from the forest. The dove, realizing she had been saved, came down to find the ant. Her eyes were full of gratitude and wonder. The dove said, "You? How did you arrive just in time? I was so close to death." The ant smiled and said, "You once saved my life. Today it was my turn. I made a promise and I kept it." The dove bowed her head in humility and said, "You've shown me. It's not the size that matters, but the heart and actions. I was wrong to judge you." Moral of the story: never underestimate anyone in life. In times of need, even the smallest among us can become the greatest. It's not the size of the body, but the greatness of the heart that truly defines a being.